You know, Juraj Slafkovsky has really grown into his own as a stud first overall selection. I remember being skeptical about that selection when they did not take Shane Wright, but man, have the Montreal Canadiens turned out to be right. And that's how it is, man. You never know what's going to happen with players, but gosh, more than that, it's not just the player, but it's the contracts too. And this is what people keep on saying about it. And it comes down to the culture around your locker room or dressing room or whatever you want to say. If you have players that are willing to take fair deals and not squeeze your team for every penny, they have an advantage on every single team. Welcome back to Pixel Plus Hockey. If you can make sure to hit that subscribe button, it'd be so greatly appreciated. And thank you so much to those that are already supporting me as well. It is very humbling. And you can just go down the line of all of these contracts and tell me that it is not a culture thing, right? Like it's just everywhere, all over the culture. Like guys just want to play there. Nick Suzuki, 7.8. Cole Caulfield, 7.8. Slafkovsky, 7.6. I mean, these deals are really just unbelievable. Now, you could just argue that it's maybe the Montreal Canadiens, getting on it fast, right? Which is fair. But if you look at a guy like Leo Carlsson, for example, like, listen, I'm not going to hate a player. If he wants to go get his money, that's his right. He's earned it. But the question is if a player chases every single penny, can they win a Stanley Cup? People will always say it's not the player's fault, it's the management, da-da-da-da. I totally understand that, but the reality is, does it make it more likely or less likely for Leo Carlsson throughout his career to win a Stanley Cup? I would say it makes it less likely. Macklin Celebrini is a fantastic talent, but he's getting paid a lot of money. That's going to make it harder for the Sharks to win a cup. That's just the reality of what it is. Not saying they can't win a cup, by the way. I'm just saying when you structure your cap like the Montreal Canadiens are doing, you are in such an unbelievable position. And I'm telling you, in the next 5 years, the Montreal Canadiens have a real shot at winning it all. And this is why what we're going to be talking about today is Juraj Slafkovsky. The players don't really care about money, close quote. Now, to be fair, that's obviously not completely true. Everybody cares about money. When I talk about cap, players getting rich, and what you want overall, in my opinion, is a good balance, okay? You don't just want to have one or the other. If you go all the way with money, you may never win a cup. So it's all about balance. Listen, all of these guys are going to be rich for the rest of their lives, but it's about more than that. Like it just is. These guys are competitive guys and they want to win the Stanley Cup. And what helps them win the Stanley Cup would be helping out their management. Now, to be fair, you have to trust your management. I do wonder if players that just chase around money as much as they can don't really trust the management as much. Like for the Maple Leafs, they really struggled getting those guys on fair contracts because perhaps the players just didn't trust the management. And perhaps they look at guys like Kent Hughes and say, you know what, this is a manager, we trust this guy, we're going to give him all that he can to win in the National Hockey League. Again, it's very, very hard to win in the NHL, and you have to have every single chip on your side to be able to do it. And check out this full quote by Slafkovsky. It's amazing. It's not really about the money for anyone there in Montreal. We all have the same goal on that team. Nobody really cares about the money at this point. I mean, all those contracts that guys have, or even I personally have, it's already made our lives easier enough. Nobody really needs more than that. And then the quote continues, we'd rather just focus on collecting those Stanley Cup rings because that's a much bigger number. And I don't care about any amount of money can top that. And listen, man, Montreal Canadiens fans, trust me, they absolutely love hearing this stuff. Not a lot of teams have that level of culture that you can say, we are chasing cup rings, we're going to say it, we're going to take less money to do it, and it just is what it is. I'm not saying all players should do that. It's just an indication of the culture around the team. This is why, even if I do think the Leafs or Sharks might be good teams or might be decent teams, I don't think they have as high of a chance to win the Stanley Cup as the Montreal Canadiens do in the next 5 years. And this is why when we talk about Michael Hage, for example, a lot of people would talk about this player and say, well, it doesn't seem like he wants to be in Montreal. And that's why I always firmly pushed back on that, because it just does not make a lot of sense. There's really no evidence that Michael Hage doesn't want to play in Montreal. And if I want to make a prediction about Michael Hage, the same thing is going to happen with him. He's probably going to show up in Montreal. He's probably going to take a lesser deal. He's probably going to score maybe 50 points or on pace for 50 points once he starts hitting his stride in the NHL, and he is going to sign a long-term deal like all the other guys have in Montreal. And why is that? Because they like playing in Montreal, they play around a bunch of great players, and they have that culture to win. This is one of the most exciting times to be a Montreal Canadiens fan by far. Like, even if you look at that Lane Hudson contract, for example, like, that's straight up criminal. Like, what that guy is only getting paid is absolutely criminal. What he can do, which, again, I believe he could be possibly a 100-point defenseman. I know it's very rare for a defenseman to score 100 points, but if there is a 100-point defenseman on a team that can score a lot of goals and score a lot of points, that's a guy that could do it. This guy easily could have just said, no, you know what, I'm going to wait and squeeze the Montreal Canadiens for every single penny, like, I don't know, William Nylander did with the Leafs, and he almost missed the entire season. But he said, no, I'm just going to take a fair deal. I'll tell you what, man, it's not even actually a fair deal. He should be getting paid far more than that. And it's just awesome to see, because now they have their number one defenseman sealed up for a long-term contract. Again, the Montreal Canadiens are not a perfect team. I didn't love their play in the Carolina, series. I did not think they have the puck nearly enough. They do need some more size. They need some more balance. They need some more play drivers. They need players like that. They need, they need them sprinkled around their lineup. There's no doubt about that. They have holes in their lineup, but you already see with Gleb Pugachev, who I'm still learning to pronounce his name properly, or Michael Hage, for example, you see the players that are going to be coming in and being able to solve those holes already if they just keep the players and say, nah, we're just going to keep the players. You look at Alexander Zarovsky, although I'm not really sure he's going to be a two-way player personally. I think he's going to be more of an offensive player. They could use him as trade bait as well. So you already have solutions to all these problems, and honestly, the biggest thing that the Montreal Canadiens do is for all of these young guys just to get better and just get better away from the puck. Like, they can get better away from the puck for sure, and then that will improve the team, of course. Anyways, guys, I think I'm going to leave this video here. If you can make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, guys, and make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.